Hey, it's Austin from Cork Bats. Let's talk about Quinton Spain getting absolutely owned by Aaron Donald. We take it now to Super Bowl 56. The Bengals are trailing by 3 and have 4th and 1 around midfield with 43 seconds left. About 42 seconds more than Aaron Donald needed to run by Quinton Spain. You know, Quinton Spain, who just so happens to be the left guard of arguably the worst offensive line in NFL playoff history. Because not only did they give up an NFL record 9 sacks to the Titans in the divisional round, but they damn near tied that record in the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. A Super Bowl which ended on, you guessed it, Quinton Spain giving up a near sack. It was a rough night for Q because him and his crew gave up 007 sacks. In fact, the only thing more abused than Quinton Spain in this game were his mentions after it, which led him to tweet this, a tweet without punctuation, which reads, "Didn't do shit all game on me. I know y'all was watching and waiting for me to mess up." Seriously, Quinton? That's like Abraham Lincoln tweeting, "John Wilkes Booth didn't do shit on me all play." I mean, how are you going to say that when on that final play, Aaron straight up killed you like his last name was Hernandez? I mean, this was the most highly publicized murder in LA since OJ, which makes sense when you consider Aaron trains with knives. But speaking of dudes getting cut, back to Quinton Spain. Remember the game I referenced earlier when Quinton and his crew gave up an NFL record 9 sacks? Let me say it again. An NFL record 9 sacks in one game. Well, Quinton decided to tweet nonsense after that piss-poor performance too, by trash-talking Jeff Simmons. In fact, he trash-talked Jeff Simmons, who, in that same game, did this to him. Now, look, sure, I'm a firm believer. Never trust a photo in a sport as fast as the NFL. A still image can be very deceiving. So, here's video. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. The fact that this guy even opened up Twitter after this game. Also, can we just look at that photo one more time real quick? Look at this. He looks like a security guard in an ice rink wearing street shoes trying to catch someone on skates. He looks like he's sitting on the toilet in a public bathroom and trying to retrieve his phone after he dropped it and it slid to the next stall. That is not the stance you want an NFL offensive lineman in. Also, there's no greater irony than someone calling someone else a bitch ass in a tweet and then deleting said tweet. Because if you're gonna talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Or in his case, block the block. But when he says didn't do shit, I'm not sure if he's referring to Aaron Donald, who had 3.5 tackles and 2 of his team's 7 sacks, or if he's just referring to himself, which would make more sense. Because the only point in the game where Quinton got any hands on AD was after he shoved Burrow into the turf like a high school bully. And even then, he was the last one to get to Donald, naturally. But you know what? He's right. Donald didn't do anything on him all game. Like on Donald's first sack, he didn't even line up on Spain, which is probably a good thing considering how much he struggled with Okoronkwo. Sure, Okoronkwo was right there. But aside from getting the sack, Donald didn't do, as he calls it, shit. And what about the literal play before Quinton Spain nearly gave up the game-losing sack? Sure, his team only needed 1 yard in what ended up being a crucial play, and the guy lined up on Quinton helped make the tackle for the loss. But aside from being in on that tackle, and again, making the game-winning play, Donald didn't do shit. And speaking of that final play, when again, Aaron didn't do shit on Spain, mainly because he didn't have to. He just ran right by him. I mean, look at this. Quinton is still facing straight ahead after Donald has passed him, like he was an old cartoon.
Well, which way did it go, George? Which way did it go?
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? I bet Quinton would have stopped him if he had a Mick in front of his last name. So this, of course, led to Jeff Simmons coming out of the woodworks, whipping out the old Twitter machine and thumbing out this tweet. Damn, 67. And unlike he did with Big Jeff and Aaron Donald, Quinton just couldn't let this go by him. So he tweeted back, "I know you was watching the whole game waiting for me to mess up, and next time, just et me, okay? Like I did you." I think what he means was, just et me and then delete it like I did you. But Jeff's right. Damn, 67. Because somehow on this play, Quinton ends up 4 yards away while the man he was tasked to block puts Joe Burrow in the spin cycle. And then if you stop it right here, it looks like he's picking up a grown man the same way someone would pick up their cat. But the worst part for Bengals fans, which if you're a Bengals fan, turn away now, was how wide open Jamar Chase was on the final play. If only his quarterback had more than a second and a half to throw the ball. But instead, people haven't been this disappointed in Spain since Antonio Banderas agreed to do Spy Kids. So then Aaron Donald just runs around yelling, "Ring me, ring me," while Quinton Spain probably swung by a Jack-in-the-Box on his way home yelling, "Onion ring me, onion ring me." And, well, Joe Burrow and his Macaulay Culkin-looking ass had to go home alone. Onion ring me, onion ring me.